Hello all, welcome to the another session of Chinglish and communication. I hope I'm audible. We'll just start first with the recap of what we did in the last lecture. Now you know that where to use good morning when especially it is concerned with um English language particularly. Now, today we will go through the communication. We just discussed few roots and root ideas of communication, and now we will be going further with that. And last time we also saw that what is the gap or what is the disturbance or what is the barrier in communication as the PPT could not open in the live session when we wanted to discuss something. Now, this time we will go ahead first with the fast recap and then we'll go ahead with the discussion of different topics in communication. This is your unit number 2. So, here we go with that. Okay, first of all, uh, how do we do that? That has to be understood. Yes, as you can read and you can see here, it is communication. How did it came into action? First of all, that is to be understood. First, the word commune.
Hello everyone. Yes, we did in the last lecture. We'll again go through it. That what is communication, how the word communication came into existence, and what it should be said when you are uh, greeting somebody for the first time. What should be the word that is to be used? So here we go with that. First is commune, as you can read and as you can see on the screen. Commune is a Latin word. After that, the word came communo. Commune means, at that time in Latin, commune means to tell something, to tell, to speak. That means to commune. I mean, only commune. After that, it was communo. Communo, again, Latin word. Communo means to share, to share. What not specified in Latin. To commune, I mean, just communum to share. After that, it was communicare. Communicare, again Latin word, which means to share with care. You are taking care, you are thinking before sharing something with somebody. That is the word that is used for that is communicare. And then from Latin, the word has been derived into English, which is said communicate. To communicate means to share, to discuss, to tell, to opine, anything that you do from one person to the another person with a bit care and thoughtfulness is called communicate. And after communication, the hero enters as we discussed last time. So that is how it goes. After that, it is what is communication. First of all, it has to be defined. As we discussed last time also, as we discussed in earlier session also, that definition is something which is very much technical and bookish thing. Definition, the simplest definition of communication is to share your ideas, thoughts, or your opinion from one end, that is sender, to the another end, that is receiver, with the same perception is known as communication. But if we just have to share it in the simplest expression in the colloquial language, it means the way of expression. As we say, communication is ultimately what? It is to express, right? Every time you don't speak, you don't keep speaking about the thing, it will also be about communication. So communication is to express, then to explain. Whatever you wish to explain will come through it, and then it is communication around. Whichever communication is happening around us, uh, It can be at home, it can be with your friends, it can be at professional level, it can be at school level, it can be now at college level. At different levels, whichever communication is taking place is known as communication around and then across the globe. If we talk about the current scenario, that is COVID-19 situation across the globe, many communications are taking place. Communication is not something which is restricted to one place, it is happening everywhere. So it is definitely happening across the globe. USA is communicating, China is communicating something, um, European countries are communicating something, India is communicating something, Trump and Modi ji is communicating something. This whole communication is what communication across the globe. Right now, sitting in India, sitting in your home, you know that what is the situation due to COVID-19 in Italy. You know what is the situation in USA, in New York, in New Jersey, in Florida due to 19 pandemic situation. You know what is going on in so and so area, what is going on in Delhi, what is the situation of Maharashtra, Mumbai, Pune. You all know about it. This is already known by people, right? So that is also that is called communication across the globe. Now, as we also do journey of communication is also there. Um, Journey of communication means it has nothing to do with going from one place to another place or something like that. Journey of communication means how did it came into existence, how communication takes place. We'll just understand it with the help of whiteboard here. I hope I'll be able to share it again. Okay, I'll be showing you from here that what is the actual journey of communication from sender to the receiver, how it goes. Here we go. This is the sender. Sender will select one medium to communicate. This is the sender, then it would be selection of medium by the sender. Okay, so this is how it goes. First, it is sender who selects the medium of uh, a message, then the message would be getting encoded, then the process of sending will start, then what will come in between, it is the villain, it is noise or barrier, then it will be received by the receiver. After that, receiver will be decoding the message. As here encoding happened, here it would be the process of decoding. If encoding is equal to decoding, then only we can say that our communication is successful. So this is called the journey of communication. Now how I'll explain it with example, okay, let it rest for a while and just imagine that you wish to plan to go for a movie, right? And now you have to decide that this is the situation in that how to go for a movie. Obviously, you cannot go in the theater, so you have decided that um, at one friend's place where home theater and everything is there, you will be watching a movie. Say, for example, you want to watch the movie Drive. You wish to watch Sushant Singh Rajput's movie, say, for example, and now you all want to plan for it. You wish to plan for it. What will be the first step? First, you have to do the selection of medium. How will you get communicated with other friends, group of five? So first of all, it can be WhatsApp calling, it can be WhatsApp message in the group, it can be just first two best friends will decide that do we wish to do it or not, how many persons to be included and all the things, and then it would be circulated. So first it would be selection of medium, that it would be email, it would be message, it would be WhatsApp calling, it would be some other thing, it would be Zoom meet or whatsoever. After that it would be encoding. Encoding means what to be told to whom. Now you already know that in friend circle everyone will not be uh, so easily they will get confirm. I mean, they will not give confirmation so easily. They will take time in giving confirmation. So, in that case, what you have to do is you have to convince that friend according to that. So, when you are calling one friend, your language would be different, and when you are calling another friend, it may happen that your language to tell him or her is different. So, that is called encoding of the message. That is encoding. uh, After the encoding of message, it would be sending, the message would be sent, message would be conveyed. Now it can be noise or barrier in between. Suppose you say that we will be watching a movie. You forgot to mention the name of the movie. So what will happen? Your friend, any of one friend may think that it would be some funny movie, it would be some romantic movie, or it would be some this kind of movie. But what movie you have planned is something else. So that is called communication barrier. That what sender wants to say and what receiver has understood, both the things are different. Both the things differ to some extent. So that is called noise or barrier. After that, the receiver gets the message, decoding will happen, and encoding and decoding. If both the things meet, if both the things match, then and then only you can say that it is communication. Otherwise, it is not a communication. It would be called miscommunication. You just have to add the word MIS before communication. It is not MISS. Make sure about it. It has to be MIS, miscommunication, and not miscommunication. Right? Okay, so along with that, we are going ahead with the another slide. So clear about it. Journey to communication is always about from sender to the receiver. Sender sends the message, receiver receives the message. Encoding is equal to decoding, then communication. Encoding not equal to decoding, miscommunication. Clear about it? What is communication and what is miscommunication? And this is known as journey to communication. Okay. Here with that, we are going further that what to be done after that. Okay. So here we go. Types of communication. It is mainly there are two types, um, verbal and non-verbal. Okay, mainly there are two types, verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Verbal communication means um Whichever is having usage of language into it is verbal communication. And non-verbal communication means words are not used, language is not used in the communication. That communication is known as non-verbal communication. This is a very wide topic, but for understanding it perfectly, we'll just go with one thing. Say, for example, if I tell you to do the exercise with me, you just have to follow the instruction that I give. I hope you are ready for it. Okay? I'll say something and you just have to do it. If I ask a question to all of you that there are two kinds of communication, verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Two types, then there are many other things to be discussed. Which communication is more effective, verbal or non-verbal? Even the written communication is included into verbal communication. It is not non-verbal, it is verbal because whenever it is written, language is used, words are used. So it is verbal communication. And non-verbal communication is you are not using language. Without language, the communication that is made is known as
Clap, clip. We are doing the exercise of verbal and non-verbal communication. Clap. So you have to clap. If I say clip, you have to clip. Okay. Your hands on your head. Okay. Again clap. Okay. Your hands on your shoulder. Yes. Again clap. Okay. Now your hands on your ears, and again clap. Okay. Now did you observe what I do? You were told to follow me. First, I said hands on your head, and then clap, then clip, and other things. But when I said keep your hands on your ears, but I did not do the same. What I did was I kept my hands on my cheeks. Right? How many of you did the same? I'm sure many of you, most of you, that is called the difference between verbal communication and non-verbal communication. It is believed that non-verbal communication is overpowering, non-verbal communication is more powerful than the verbal communication. So whenever you are communicating, and if you are saying that I have communicated it very well because I spoke very nicely and I did,
it's not so. You just have to be very careful that whatever you speak has to be spoken with verbal and non-verbal, both the factors simultaneously. Both the factors has to be kept in mind. Both the factors are given equal importance and it has to be communicated. Even if when it is language, non-verbal communication is into existence. How? It is with the usage of punctuation mark. What is punctuation mark? Your comma, your full stop, your inverted commas, your question mark, your exclamation mark. Everything is called non-verbal communication. It is punctuation marks which is adding to your text. Right? Say for example, if it is a simple sentence, I'll give you the example. Do not spit here. Right? It is a simple sentence. Do not spit here. Okay. Now, if after do there is a full stop, just imagine there is a sentence. Do not spit here. Let's take the help of board. Conventional things are always helpful. That is what I believe. Okay, let's see. You are able to read, I'm sure. the sentence. Okay. Now, what is the rule of non-verbal communication when it is come to written communication? Right? Do not sit here. Right? I have just added full stop and exclamation mark, and the meaning of the whole sentence has changed. Is it the same? No, it has changed. So this is called non-verbal communication, and this is called the importance of punctuation mark into it. If I just skip do not sit here. So if there is a comma after do not, again it is the meaning changing. Do not, you are stopping somebody, but from what, that is not specified, and then you are instructing to sit here. So obviously the person who have not or who have never thought to sit also think that okay, this is the place to be for sitting, and we have to sit here only. So this is how it goes. Do not sit. Okay, you have specified. Then here, everyone will just think about it that what is the meaning of the word here over here, right? So this has to be taken care of when you are writing that even if it is a non-verbal communication, it plays a vital role. Whatever punctuations have been used into it, it plays a major role. Okay, clear about it? Right? So, what is the importance of verbal and non-verbal communication? Both are very important. But if you think that only verbal communication, I'm very good at speaking, I can explain the thing very well. My friend says that I'm very good in explaining something, expressing myself, just put forward my thoughts to somebody. Okay, everything is fine. But are you making the perfect blend of verbal and non-verbal communication? If yes, you are a very good communicator. If not, there is still a room of improvement for you, and you should keep working on that. Right? So, clear about verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Now, first of all, we will stick to verbal communication, and then we'll move to non-verbal communication. Excuse me. Okay. In verbal communication, as I said, there would be spoken communication, and then it would be written communication. In written communication, also non-verbal part would be the punctuation mark. Right? And it is spoken communication. There are many non-verbal parts. We will be discussing it later on. Right now, we are concentrating on the different kinds of verbal communication. In verbal communication, first thing that is to be considered is face-to-face communication. As right now, although it is e-platform, it is face-to-face. You are able to see me. You are able to see what non-verbally I am communicating. That is also something that would be reached to you. So it is face-to-face communication. But yes, virtual. Again, it will come to number two position. First position will always be acquired by face-to-face communication. It is believed that face-to-face communication is the most effective one, is the most impactful, and it will be the best in getting the message conveyed from sender to receiver with the purpose that coding both are not having a huge gap. It is going on perfectly. So that is first is always face-to-face communication, then it is telephonic conversation. Yes, in between this virtual communication would be there, that it is on e-platform, it might be on phone, you are on FaceTime, or it is WhatsApp calling, or it is somewhere when you can look at the person as well, and you can listen to the person simultaneously. So that would be there, and then it is telephonic communication. You are calling somebody, you are phoning somebody, and you are talking, you are discussing, you are expressing yourself, you are conveying or so many things, instructions, whatsoever. So that is telephonic communication. Then it would be, say for example, um, verbally only, but you are neither on telephone, you are not on face to face communication, but you are communicating through email, in which your audio part will not be there. In email, written part would be there, but it is also considered very formal, official, and professional way of communication. So it is again a good part, and that is how it goes. Verbal communication. What is to be taken care of in verbal communication? One more look at it. Okay, in verbal communication, we have many layers to check out. These all are the layers of communication when it comes to verbal communication. Do remember, when it is asked types of communication, there are only two types: verbal and non-verbal. Now, in verbal, there are layers of communication. Types and layers both are different things, right? So, layers of communication, if we just go to the first one, it is said intrapersonal communication. Okay, what is intrapersonal communication? Intrapersonal communication is something which is a continuous process, something that happens almost 24/7 with the human being. As the word itself suggests, intrapersonal. Uh, in intrapersonal, anything, any communication that takes place between your two ears in your mind, your brain is never at rest. It continuously keeps thinking about one or the other thing, right? You communicate with yourself continuously, even if when you are sleeping, you are into dreamland. Yeah, and if somebody is saying that I never see dreams, मतलब तो सपना आता है कि I don't, मैंने कभी सपने नहीं देखे and all the things. It may happen that you are not able to remember or recall it. Science says that dreams is something that has to be there. That is the bridge between your conscious and subconscious mind. Whatever you have seen, whatever you have perceived, whatever is just stored in your unconscious or subconscious mind would pop up when you slip into your dream, right? So in dreams also you are communicating. You are communicating with whom? Yourself. So any communication which takes place between your two ears in your brain, whatever communication you are doing with yourself is called intrapersonal communication. Now, this communication, many people have habit, if you have observed, they will talk to themselves looking at the mirror, or while walking, they'll keep talking to themselves. They'll just say that, hello, what are you doing? I'm doing this, I'm fine. They'll just say their name, they'll just look into the mirror and they'll keep speaking, right? So this is called intrapersonal communication. Many a times just you are listening to music and you are in your own world, you are communicating, you are just relating with the lyrics of the song. Maybe you are relating with some of the location of the song whenever it is filmed or something like that. So that is called what? Intrapersonal communication. The person who is communicating continuously, the continuous communication in human mind is which one? Intrapersonal, right? The communication to yourself is known as intrapersonal communication. Clear about it? Okay. Now, many a times in intrapersonal communication, a person may not um, need any specification. For example, if you have to do any other communication, you may need language, you may need this thing, you may need later, or you may need something to write upon, email. In intrapersonal communication, obviously, you don't need anything because in intrapersonal, maybe language is not required. When you are communicating with yourself, you don't need all the time. It is happening between this, right? Some thought came to your mind immediately. That is, you are communicating with yourself. After that thought, say for example, you just had a thought to go for celebration of your friend's birthday. That thought came. After that, you will start intrapersonal communication. Your communication with yourself will start. How? You will ask yourself that, okay, this is the situation. My parents will not allow to go for the birthday party because the situation is such. I have to drive for a longer time and all the things are to be done. How will I do it? How to manage? What is to be done? So that is intrapersonal communication. You are communicating with yourself. You are just checking out all the possibilities. Okay, first of all, I'll communicate, I'll talk to it with mommy. Then I'll tell mommy to confirm, or else vice versa. Right? I'll tell papa first what is to be used. I'll tell dada, I'll tell grandparents. They'll help me into it. I'll tell my friends to insist to my parents on phone. Too many things you are thinking for execution of one idea that came to your mind, and you thought about all the consequences, all the possibilities, all the things which may appear for fulfilling your thought. Whatever you have thought, what is to be done for making it work. So this is called intrapersonal communication. After that, it is interpersonal. Now, interpersonal communication is between two parts. If you are communicating with your friend, you are just saying, hey, you are here. What is your program today? Are we going out? Are we going for the birthday party? Are we going for the birthday celebration? How did you convince your parents? How will we manage? How will we drive? Mask, do you have sufficient mask? Do you have sanitizer? And all these things, if you are talking or communicating, that is what interpersonal. From one person to the another person or persons, right? It can be in plural as well. One to one or one to many, both are considered as interpersonal communication. It is not intra, but yes, uh, there can be a combination of intra and interpersonal. How? Intrapersonal and interpersonal both can happen simultaneously. Suppose you met your friend and you just say that, hey, how are you? You are looking good today. Intrapersonal. Interpersonal. In your mind, you are thinking, oh, she is not having any sense. She's dressing. She doesn't know what to wear. She is having no sense of color combination. She doesn't look good. So that is intrapersonal. Interpersonal, what did you say? Wow, you are looking good. Intrapersonal, what did you feel? She has no sense. So that is what intra and inter can go hand in hand simultaneously at the same time. So intra and inter can happen at the same time. Intra between your two ears, inter to place. Right? Say for example, it has many factors to be implemented. Right? If someone just asks you, how are you today? Your answer will depend on who is asking that question to you. If your friend asks, how are you today? Your answer would be different. If your parents ask, how are you today? Your reply would be different. Teachers, if your teacher or somebody from the professional um, field asks, how are you today? Your answer would be different. Simultaneously, your intrapersonal communication would be on. अगर इसको बोलूंगा या इसको बोलूंगी that I'm not well, I'm disturbed, he or she will be really happy. So why should I say? On the contrary, I'll pretend that I'm so happy even though I'm not. Actually, I'm not happy, but I want to pretend that I'm very happy. So intra, I got the message that not happy, but interpersonal, I said I'm so happy today. So that is what the combination of intrapersonal and interpersonal. Same thing if my best friend comes and asks me how are you today? You don't seem good. I'll say yes, I'm distressed. I had an argument with my parents in the morning and I'm not in mood. Let's bunk the lecture. Let's not attend the lecture today and let's go somewhere else. Or let's just talk for a while, whatsoever. So that is what inter and intra. Even your interpersonal communication may differ from person to person, right? So if somebody asks you that what are your future plans, if your parents ask, you will be very conscious about before giving the answer. If your friend asks, still yes, and you will be giving the answer. If your teachers ask, you want to maintain your image and you wish to give the answer. If some outsider asks, it would be different. So everywhere, even interpersonal communication will not remain the same. It tends to keep changing depending on with whom are you communicating, who is communicating with you, will be having a
Whoever is communicating with you will be having a deep impact on it, that how is your, with whom is your interpersonal communication taking place. So intra and inter both can go hand in hand, both can go separately, but remember intrapersonal is a kind of communication which is 24/7, and interpersonal, it depends completely on your capacity to communicate. Interpersonal communication can be verbal, can be non-verbal, um, and intrapersonal communication can also be verbal as well as non-verbal. Right? If you are just writing in your diary and you are talking to yourself in that way, that is also intrapersonal communication, right? In your diary you are talking to yourself, that is called intrapersonal communication. And interpersonal communication is, you are not in interpersonal communication, if you are writing something, if you are texting something, if it is your text message, if your WhatsApp message, if it is your Insta post, that is also called interpersonal communication, because you wish to get it communicated to one, to many, or to the public, to friends of friends, and to many people. So it is what? In interpersonal, right? Whatever is the platform, intrapersonal, interpersonal, these are the different criteria. After that, it comes extrapersonal communication. I hope you are clear about intra and inter first, because this both are very important kind of communication that when it comes to verbal communication. In a quick recap, if you are asked about the types of communication, there are only two types of communication: verbal, non-verbal. If it is asked that which is more impactful into verbal communication or non-verbal communication, non-verbal communication is believed to be more effective, overpowering to the verbal communication. We did a small exercise to understand that even if two things are happening simultaneously, verbal and non-verbal, a person would tend to, or it would happen that non-verbal communication will be caught more impactfully. That's why it is said that when you are talking to a child, be a role model to the child, because simply do they'll simply do whatever they see. They will repeat whatever they see. The action will be repeated by a child, right? So that is how it happens. If a child sees that parents are fighting, parents are talking rudely to somebody, or if they see that parents are talking nicely to somebody, they will follow that only. Even if you tell them that don't do this, don't do that, they'll not follow. They will follow what they have seen. What better example can we have of non-verbal and verbal communication? Verbally you are telling them don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that, but what you are actually doing, you are telling the child don't use phone, don't watch TV, But the child sees what? That parents are most of the time on the phone, on the TV, they are doing this. So you just see the small fingers of the child. They will also be beautifully be doing this. So that is what impactfulness of non-verbal communication. So that is how it goes. Here we end today's session. We'll go further in the next class. Thank you. See you soon.